Welcome to ASL Tips for Restaurant Staff. My name is Michelle Weirman and I'm your guide to better communication in ASL. This video will teach you how to interact with your deaf and hard of hearing diners in a way that's both respectful and clear. You can use the timestamps below to go to the signing section if you so wish to, and then to come right back here and find out more about deaf-friendly etiquette. So let's get started with that etiquette lesson. The first thing you should do is to change a little bit of your perspective on having a deaf or hard of hearing diner. Calm down. There is no emergency and no reason to panic. Instead, I want you to start thinking of this person as being more visually inclined and simply being a different language user. In all these cases, we always want to make sure that we make it easy to communicate visually. If there is a waiting area for the restaurant and the person is waiting to be seated and you recognize that they're deaf, maybe you're working at the front desk, you always want to make sure that you know where the person is going to be seated so that you can go and personally tap them and let them know that their table is up. If you have some type of a vibrating device or a light up device, that's okay, but most fancy restaurants don't use that. And so I want you to make sure that you know where they are so that you're not repeating a name that's never going to be answered to. This also happens very often. Take that extra moment to think about the dining experience and starting it out positively. Make sure that you know, that you let them know, write them a note, I will come get you. And so that that's clear. The next thing to do is to make sure that you think about seating. So if there are options on seating, make sure that you sit this group at a table that's well lit. Don't put them in a dark corner where communication is going to be hard and their signing is going to be like signing in a movie theater. Make sure that you're putting them in a well-lit location that is still beautiful and wonderful and equal to that which everyone else is enjoying, but is respectful of the fact that good lighting really helps with great conversation in ASL. Relax your face and make sure that you're showing a welcoming demeanor. Smiling, leaning forward, looking at them directly in the face. Now, I know part of your profession, of course, is keeping notes of an order, which means that you're going to be looking down and up. Always make sure that during the portions where you're communicating, you're making as much eye contact as possible. You're looking at the person's face, looking at them directly, and then looking away and not speaking at the same time. Do not ask if the person lip reads. There is so many reasons that lip reading is difficult, and so lip reading isn't a really great option. Put to work your notepad. Even if you've forgotten every sign you've ever learned, it's time to use that notepad to jot down a small welcoming message. Hi, I'm happy to help you today. Something like that. The next thing to do is to take note of their preference in communication. Are they speaking and pointing to something? Are they writing down a note? Are they using their smartphone to type out a message for you? Respect that and look at the message. I've seen all too many times someone disregard a written note and continue to make motions that the person should try to lip read them. Sometimes you're all ready to go and write back and forth or to use your tiny bit of sign to communicate with this person, and then somebody else at the table is voicing for them. The most important thing to remember is that you are actually dealing with the diner in a personal way. It doesn't matter who's voicing for them or who's doing the signing and interpreting. You want to make sure that the diner that is ordering is getting your full attention. Look at them while you are talking or signing and make sure that you're looking at them even if the voice that's responding to you is coming from somebody else. This is still the diner that you're interacting with. Also, make sure that you're not saying things like, please tell her, or please ask him. The interpreter is there to facilitate conversation, but you're always going to say things like, would you like more water? Your conversation should be aimed directly at the diner that you are currently helping. Just remember to be flexible and to let the deaf or hard of hearing person lead the interaction, and it's going to be a success. Now let's learn some signs that you can use in a restaurant or fine dining setting. Hello. Hello and hi are exactly the same, and you're using your open B hand kind of coming off the top of your head. Don't do a military thing. If you're going to close your hand, just have it be soft near the head without coming off so rigid. You can also just wave. Goodbye is also done as either a wave or a hand flap. So goodbye for later on. Welcome. Now, welcome is done with your fingers together and your thumb out. This is called an open B, and you're going to softly curve the hand and bring it palm up towards yourself. Welcome, as in welcome to the restaurant, is a directional sign. You're welcoming them, so you're going to bring them into yourself. Welcome. This is not exactly how we sign you're welcome, as in thank you, you're welcome. In that case, you have two options. You can either do a small welcome, welcome, not a big sweeping one, welcome, or you can do fine, fine. This is an open 5 hand and your thumb is going to touch your chest and tap it twice. This is a common you're welcome in deaf culture. It means no problem. If you would like to add welcome to the restaurant is done with an R hand. First 2 fingers twisted, and now you're going to come down on one side of your chin and the other. It looks like you're wiping your mouth with a fancy napkin. Restaurant. Welcome to the restaurant. Now, if you've signed these few things right at the start of your interaction with your diners, they're going to be surprised and they're going to be curious about how much sign you know exactly. So it's really best to let them know that you know a little bit of sign. I is done with your pointer finger. All other fingers are closed tight. Point towards yourself, I. In deaf culture, pointing is appropriate and just fine. I know that we're not always used to that in hearing American culture. So relax and remember that it's okay to point. You is not disrespectful. I. You. I know. No is done with an open B hand shape and it's just a little bit bent and you're tapping your side of your forehead. I know. I know. So one time, I know, little. Normally we do little like this, but in the case of a little sign, we generally do tiny. I know, tiny, sign. Sign is done with your pointer fingers. Both hands are closed except for the pointer fingers, and you're going to turn them in a circle, either towards yourself, coming in, or out. You'll see both pretty commonly throughout the country. I know, a little sign. Menu. Menu is done with 2 open B hands. Think of your non-dominant as the menu itself. Your boss hand is going to bend and move down. Move down so your palm is towards yourself and you look like you're highlighting the different lines of text. Let me show you from this way what it looks like. Menu. Some people might also open it like a book first. Menu. Menu. Have. Open B hands again. You're going to bend them completely and come into the sides of your chest one time. Have. Don't have. Don't have is going to be don't, thumbs open, a hand, thumbs open, and you're coming out from underneath your chin. Don't have. Perhaps someone's ordered something and don't have. Or they might ask, have? Remember that eyebrows up means yes or no, right? They're pointing to something. Have? Now, for food, we're just going to talk about the major categories. Meat. My non-dominant is facing me with my thumb up. My dominant hand, my middle finger and thumb are going to come together and squeeze that fleshy part of your hand. Meat. Fish. Fish can either be done with an open B hand with the thumb up, moving, or with the thumb in, moving. Fish. Fruit. First 2 fingers together, F hand, and it's turning on your cheek or by the side of your chin. Fruit. Vegetables. The V hand, open fingers, again on your cheek or right here at the side of your chin. Vegetable. You may also see this variant where the V actually flips completely over. Vegetable. This is usually done on the cheek. Vegetable. Ready. Ready is done with the 2 R hands. They're palm forward and you're going to push them out at the same time. Ready? As in I'm ready, or ready, order. Order is done with your pointer fingers. The rest of your hands are closed and you're going to move your dominant hand right here to your chin. Notice both fingers are facing forward though, palm forward, and you're going to come back a little and shoot it forward. Order. Ready to order? Yes is done with your fist. This is called an S hand, and you are going to be nodding it from your wrist. Yes. For no, you're using these three fingers together and you're opening and closing them at least twice. No. Yes. No. Want. Want. Want is done with open five hands that are curved so they look like claws, a claw five. Put it palm up and bring it towards yourself. Bring the thing you want towards yourself. Want. Want. Don't want is a negation. It's the opposite of this. So actually when you come in, you dump it in and down. Don't want. Want. Don't want. Drink is done with the C hand. You're going to touch your thumb to the area underneath your mouth and tip upwards. Drink, as in a beverage. I drink, the verb is done once. You want to drink is done 2 times, a beverage. You want to drink? Now, when you're taking an order in a polite dining situation, you might say, what would you like to order? In English, we start with the what in this sentence, but in ASL, we end sentences with those type of questions. What, where, who, why, and things like that. So in this case, what is with the open five hands, palm up, and I'm going to lift my shoulders, lower my eyebrows, and move it back and forth. What? Your drink what? Or your order what? Some common ones you're going to see is water. Touch your thumb to your pinky finger and tap your chin twice. Water. Wine. Wine is done with the same hand, but it circles to the side of your chin. Wine. Or you might see someone using the 3 fingers to hold a wine glass and swirl it in that location. Wine. For beer, it is a B hand. Thumb in, and you're coming down by the side of the chin. Similar location 2 times. Beer. Soda. Soda is done with your non-dominant hand being almost totally closed, and your other hand is with your middle finger lowered, and it's going in and then slapping a lid on. Soda. Soda. More. More is done with squashy O hands or flat O hands. What this means is that you're doing an O and then flattening the hands, and it's tapped twice. More. So if you wanted to ask, want more? Now notice I added something at the end of that sentence because it's a yes-no question, and many of your questions in the dining setting are going to be yes-no questions. You're going to raise your eyebrows and lean forward at the end of that sentence. Want more? This is what the question looks like. If I was just making a statement, I'd say, I want more. Want more means, do you want more? So bread. Bread is done with 2 hands. Both of them are using this open B hand shape, but my non-dominant is going to be palm in, and my dominant hand is going to bend and look like it's slicing the outside of the hand. Bread. Bread. Food. Food is done with the squashy O hand coming towards your mouth 2 times. Food. How big of an order? Let's say if there's a cup or a bowl or something like that. You are probably going to use your L hands, and you're going to bend the pointer finger to show, do they want something small? Small? Medium. Now watch for small in my mouth. For medium, if something is really large, maybe the size of a gourmet pizza, you might do cha, cha, and no voice. Notice that the mouth movement and the hand movement goes together for these sounds. Now, if you're asking about the size of an order, you're going to swivel between the different sizes, and you're going to add a questioning face. So lower your eyebrows, as in what size? Or the person might ask you, how big is this? At which then you'll be able to show them the size. Dessert. Dessert is done with the D hands. Fingers together, pointer finger up. You're going to see some variety in this. Some places just tap the D hands in a small motion together 2 times. And many, many places then actually lay the hands down like it's on the plate. I do sign dessert this way. Dessert, dessert. Bill. There's going to be 2 options. Some people are going to finger spell bill, but most people are going to show you the shape of a check. They're going to use their L hands to trace a check. And that's our lesson for today. If this video helped you, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future content. If you're ready to learn more ASL and want a supportive, encouraging environment where you can succeed, check out my courses below or go straight to www.aslwithmichelle.com.